When you're planning adventure travel, the guiding company you use is going to make all of the difference. You want to find the ones that are the most prepared, the most experienced, the ones that are going to take you off the tourist trail into the hidden remote corners. And I've used guided companies that have taken me into remote destinations in the heart of Iceland, through some of the most epic terrain in the Canadian Rockies, and into some of the quietest corners of the Dolomites in Italy. So today I'm going to be breaking down for you the guiding companies I trust, I've used, and I would book again with in a heartbeat to save you the hassle of figuring out which ones should you use for your next adventure. You ready for this? Let's go. Welcome to today's episode of Explore This. I'm your host, 𝗙𝗪𝗏, and I love taking you where the crowds don't go. And in today's episode, as I'm going to be breaking down guiding companies for you, there's a couple of important things I want to share on how I'm going to lay the land out for this episode. The first is this: I love guides. Guides are some of my most favorite people on the planet. If I could build like my own friends league, they would be the guides that I have met in every guided company I have worked with. I always tend to find at least 1 to 2 people I absolutely gravitate towards. Second, my approach for this is going to be starting first hyper-local and then going broader out into some of the larger companies that I absolutely love working with, and some of my own personal experiences that I've had in working with each of these companies and what I would do if I were you. So first up comes from the land of fire and ice. You know it, it's Iceland, and I'm going to be talking about the guided company of Midgard. Midgard is located just along the southern coast of Iceland, not too far from the infamous Ring Road. And what I absolutely love about this company are a number of things. First, they are hyper-local. Run by locals, loved by locals, lived by locals. The guides literally live there or close to on location. Midgard is going to give you the opportunity to choose from a whole range of tours that start from getting that experience of seeing some of the iconic sites of the Ring Road if you're looking for guides to help you with that. But if I were to encourage you, as you're putting Iceland on your short list of places to go explore, what Midgard does really, really well is they will take you into a part of Iceland that most tourists never see: the Highlands, the center of the country. I think of it as Iceland's heart. It's where the land gets wild, untamed, otherworldly. And while the Ring Road is beautiful, there's beautiful features and waterfalls and coastlines that you can discover and see, most people go past the Highlands. I actually started a 12-day, 90-mile adventure in the Icelandic Highlands through a separate company that I'll talk about in a minute, but Midgard was the base camp. And when you show up at Midgard and you see the spreads of food that they have available for you at dinner, to the full breakfast buffets in the morning, to the rooftop hot tub and sauna at night, which is perfect no matter what season it is in Iceland, because it doesn't exactly get super hot there, you are going to be able to immerse yourself in an amazing base camp. So not only is it a great guiding company, it's also a great destination. It gives you a great opportunity to really step into the culture there. The second guiding company I love is Dolomist, and this is another hyper-local, hyper-specific guiding company. They don't just guide in the Dolomites of Italy. They guide in an area of the Dolomites that most people don't go to. So when you think of the Dolomites in Italy, if you're planning it or if you've been, you're probably thinking of the real iconic spots like Seceda, Tre Cime, 𝗙𝗲𝗟𝗏, Cadena di Misurina, Lago di Brai. There are so many iconic destinations that you can see. But the problem is that the Dolomites are getting incredibly popular with every passing season. So what the Dolomist does is these are local guides that will take you into a region known as the Friulian Dolomiti. And the Friulian Dolomiti is located in the eastern side. Think Cortina, but even further off the beaten path, a good 1.5 to 2 hours away. And after spending several months in the Dolomiti, having seen a lot of the iconic sites, a lot of the iconic refugios and the culture there, what I loved about experiencing a guided trek with them is you have an opportunity to get into the wild heart of the Dolomiti. If you think about famous trails like the 𝗙𝗲𝗟𝗍𝗪, they're beautiful. They're epic and iconic multi-day hikes, but because they're so popular, sometimes it's hard to feel like you're having a true adventure in this raw, untamed place. It's getting more and more rare. But the Friulian Dolomiti, as an example, doing something like the 7-day Friulian Rain or a shorter version of that, is going to take you into the wild heart of this mountainous region of Italy. And you're going to be experiencing the refugio culture. You're going to be experiencing the local food, just like you would in any other refugio in this region. but it's going to feel so much smaller, so much more intimate. You're going to feel so much more of a connection to what these mountains have to show you. The next guiding company is Fresh Adventures, run by my friend Alex, and I have very fond memories of doing a multi-day Canadian rocking experience with him and one of his fellow guides that not only took me through Banff National Park, but also took me through Jasper and Yoho National Parks over the course of several days. I think we covered close to 120 miles of hiking in a matter of just under 2 weeks, and we covered so much ground. It was absolutely epic. Now, what I love about Fresh Adventures, they're based in Canada, so a lot of the iconic tours that they have are going to be in the Canadian Rockies, Vancouver Island, the Yukon territories, but they also have branched out to include additional options in places like Alaska, the national parks of the United States, and New Zealand to give you these opportunities to see really epic corners of the world. When I think about the iconic destinations of Banff National Park, and I think about places like Lake Moraine, Lake Louise, lakes that have been photographed millions of times, they're absolutely gorgeous and iconic locations. But I've actually had 2 opportunities to go to Banff. And the first time I went to Banff, I remember walking along Lake Moraine, and I was thinking about how beautiful it was along the lakeshore. But my heart felt pulled, wondering what was higher. I would see trails up in the distance. I would hear rumors of tea houses tucked into the mountains, and I wanted to always know what that felt like. So shortly after that first trip, I went and I did this multi-day tour of the Canadian Rockies with Fresh Adventures. And I can remember walking on those same footsteps along the lakeshore of Lake Moraine, and then we started to climb higher and higher and higher into valleys and landscapes filled with glaciers where we would see avalanches, endless panorama vistas of mountains, where we would go beyond the Icefields Parkway and we could hike deeper up into the mountain terrain and see turquoise lakes that are far off the popular road. It was such an epic adventure, and I love the Fresh Adventure spirit because they love looking on where to go beyond what people normally see, beyond what people normally expect. And they have a whole range of tours ranging from camping tours to hotel tours. So depending upon the level of comfort and accommodation you want, you can choose the style that works best for you. When I did it in the Canadian Rockies, we camped, and it was awesome because not only did I get to experience being out in the wild under a tent, but I got to experience the food. And these guides know how to cook some mean meals over a campfire. Just imagine having a night's sleep in your own tent and waking up to campfire cinnamon rolls cooked in a cast iron skillet over the fire to start your day. That's what I'm talking about. Enough said. My next guiding company is 57 Hours, and I first found out about 57 Hours based on their philosophy. I remember seeing an ad from these guys, and they were talking about how over the course of a weekend, we've got about 57 hours to make the most out of our time. And they were really talking to like the high performers, the 9-to-5ers, the people who really work and put in a lot of effort, and how can they go and make the most out of their weekend? And so I was intrigued. So the first webinar that I watched from them was actually from 𝗙𝗪𝗟𝗡 Adventures talking about the hidden trails of Iceland. So what's cool about 57 Hours is what they are is basically they curate guided experiences throughout the world. And it gives you an opportunity to work through a platform to then partner with local guides from all different types of sports. So if you're into cycling, rock climbing, hiking, more epic expedition level to more tourist, scenic level, they have something that is for everybody. When you're working with guides who know the terrain, they give you an opportunity to see things you can never see when just trying to do all of the planning yourself. So what I've done for you with all of these 4 companies, they all have core themes. They all are very local, highly specialized, value small groups, value hidden gems, but also give you the breadth to determine if you want to really focus on more iconic bucket list destinations, you can absolutely do that as well. But the best thing about working with a guided company is you avoid the hassle, the safety issues, the concerns of trying to plan all of the logistics yourself, and they take care of everything for you. I've linked everything below for you. You're going to see links to all of these guided companies. If there's any special discounts or promo codes that I have available that I can offer to you, you're going to see those below so you can also save money on your next adventure. These are the guided companies that have given me some of my best days out on the trail, and I know they're going to do the same for you. Also, make sure to check out in the description and the pinned comment. You're going to see links to full episodes on adventures where I've used these exact companies to go out and explore epic destinations in the world. You're going to see links over here here as well. So go ahead and check that out to watch that adventure next. I'm your host, 𝗙𝗓. So great to have you on this adventure with me. I'm excited to see where your next guided adventure takes you, and I'll see you out there.